Hello horror movie fans, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. I just got done watching Blumhouse's latest horror movie, The Black Phone. And with The Black Phone, we are following a kid by the name of Finney who comes in contact with a person named The Grabber. The Grabber happens to be a serial kidnapper and takes Finney with him to his basement only to find out that the ghosts of the previous victims are now speaking to him, trying to give him advice on how to escape The Grabber. And that's all pretty much say without giving any spoilers to you guys. This is a spoiler-free review. Now with The Black Phone, this is the type of movie that when you saw the trailers, you were like, oh, that's a great idea. I love that concept. I need to see that film. At least that's what I thought when watching the trailers, having this kid hear the voices of the past victims telling him, hey, I left this here for you. If you open up this crack, there's actually this. It felt very unique and different to me. And then seeing the little bits of Ethan Hawke as this Grabber character in that mask, ooh, that looked terrifying. So as a horror fan, this is one of those movies I was just anticipating and really wanting to watch. Having walked out of it now, wow, this movie's an experience. Even though I was just mentioning how interesting and unique that concept is of a little kid hearing ghost voices giving him advice on what to do, I also did think to myself, this could get cheesy and silly really quick. Like, it's an idea that needed to be executed in a certain way, and director Scott Derrickson proves this guy is just a solid, great director. You might know him from doing movies like Sinister, the first Doctor Strange, and now with Black Phone. Like, Scott Derrickson now is just on my list of whatever he puts out, I'm gonna have to see it now. Because there's a lot of things Scott Derrickson does with this movie that elevate it to another level. For one, like you see in the trailers, the main star is a kid, and we're seeing a lot of this through the eyes of a kid, and even though it was rated R, I wasn't really expecting that much graphic stuff. I thought it was just gonna be like some curse words here and there, maybe the little occasional drop of blood. If you know horror movies, they rarely do stuff to the children. So with that in my mind, there are things that happen in Black Phone where I was kind of like surprised with, like, oh wow, we're really taking it there. Because the Black Phone isn't just about a kid that gets abducted. Like, there are just some underlying dark themes in here about kids suffering with abuse. It's portrayed in such a way that it really sets the tone for the movie, because I'll just say up top, not really a spoiler, but the kid doesn't get abducted right away. It kind of takes a while to build to that. But it's all that buildup that makes the movie all that much better, and you just get more invested into the situation. Because then when you're finally treated to Ethan Hawke's presence as the Grabber, oh boy, is terrifying and creepy. Really want to give hats off to Ethan Hawke's performance in here, because for the majority of the film, he is wearing that mask. And through that mask, he still elicits a really eerie performance, letting you know this guy is doing something horrible to these children. And even though you're curious to, like, what exactly is he doing to them, you don't want to see it. But it's not just Ethan Hawke. The brother-sister relationship in this movie, played by Mason Thomas and Madeline McGraw, these little kids are acting their butt off, and they have such great chemistry as siblings. Once you start to see what their everyday life is like, and then being thrown into this mess of one of them getting abducted, you as an audience member just get so invested and want desperately for them to be reunited. Another thing I was surprised by with The Black Phone, and this is always weird to compliment, the jump scares in here, like, they are actually good. A lot of times with these studio horror movies, they just abuse the jump scare. And not just abuse it, it's to the point now where they do it so often that you can tell when it's coming due to a certain frame or the music building up in a way, and then 70% of the time it's a jump scare for something random that isn't even threatening, like a friend touching the back of another person or an animal that knocked over a vase, something like that. But no, all the jump scares here in Black Phone are actually done to enhance the movie, make you feel a little bit more into it. Before I actually got to see the movie, I was noticing that Blumhouse was promoting the movie the same way like Paranormal Activity, showing audience reaction to the movie of them being scared and jumping in their chairs, and I was like, oh no, this movie's gonna have a lot of pointless jump scares, it's just gonna throw them left and right at us. But then being in the theater and having those scenes build up, actually pop out, and the reactions you get, it's an entertaining time. Like, this is a horror movie you want to see with the crowd. It was a lot of fun having the energy of the crowd be so invested into the movie. And it's funny, now that I'm talking about jump scares and noticing it's Scott Derrickson here, he does have a good track record of pulling those off really well, because I remember in Sinister, the one jump scare that like took the soul out of me was that one scene with the lawnmower videotape. If you have seen Sinister, you most likely know that scene. So expect a few good jump scares like that. But really, when it comes down to it, Black Phone is just an entertaining, good horror movie. It's not that type of horror movie you need to analyze any deeper. There's definitely aspects of The Black Phone where you can maybe pick out or wonder, how did that exactly work? Why is this happening? But again, all because of the execution of the film, you're just meant to have a good time and enjoy a good horror movie. I'm also pretty sure that the movie was also based on a book, and when watching the movie, you can for sure get those vibes that this was a book translated into a movie, not in a bad way, but there are elements they introduce here that they never really touch upon again at the end. There's a couple of unanswered questions or ambiguous things that you just kind of have to fill in the blank for yourself, but I have a hard time believing anybody will regret buying their ticket to go watch The Black Phone. So when it comes to Blumhouse's The Black Phone, I'm gonna give action 2.5 stars. There's a couple of kids fighting in the beginning of the movie and then a tussle at the end of the movie, but a lot of the film is meant to build up that tension and really get you to like some of these characters and the situations they're put in. Comedy in the movie, I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. They did not overuse the comedy in this film. They just use it sparingly to kind of lighten up a couple of moments, but for the most part, they keep it serious. Drama in the movie, I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I was really invested in the brother and sister relationship. I like the way the movie executed the whole him listening to the victims on the phone, but I do just kind of wish we could have gotten a little bit more context on the grabber or closure with the family towards the end of the movie. Horror in the film, I'm gonna give it 4 stars, not only just because it is graphic at times on screen, but director Scott Derrickson just knows how to build up the tension and suspense so that when things actually go down on screen, you are feeling the terror. A lot of that is also complemented by Ethan Hawke's performance as the grabber. Suspense in the film, I'm also gonna give it 4 stars. You're wanting every move this kid makes to be the move that gets him out of that basement, and any mistakes he makes, you're just so scared that the grabber's gonna get him. Casual fans, I'm gonna give this an A+. Cinephiles, I'm gonna give it an A-, and critically, I'm gonna give it a B+. For Blumhouse's The Black Phone, I think this is definitely one you add to your collection at home.
That's a keeper. Yes.
Really just a solid horror movie, a win for Blumhouse, another good one they can put up there. I know sometimes they're a mixed bag, but this really is a winner for them. Hopefully now they get Scott Derrickson to be the director of the FNAF movie. Seeing the way he just builds an atmosphere with a kid cast and how graphic he can actually be, he would be amazing for FNAF. But leave me your guys' thoughts on The Black Phone if you got around to watch it. Did you like this movie? Were you not a fan of it? If you're someone who read the book, fill me in on some of those details, man. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.